Hi everyone, welcome to the live stream, weekly live stream, but it's actually more a game talk after I don't know how we did it, how we pulled it off, but we just won in Norway and we're through to the next rounds. Guys, I have a question just right off the bat. Do you feel dirty? Does anyone feel dirty after that game?
No, man. Just happy that we're through.
Happy you're through. You guys are still a little bit surprised about what just happened, right? Ajax, let me go with you first. Of course, Damien is here, Ravish is here, Chava is here all the way from Mexico. He still has work to do, but he said, no, I have to be on the live stream, so thank you for that. Ajax, let me go through you first, man. What do you make of what we just saw, this 120 minutes?
What can you make of it, man? It's been crazy. Can't say that I liked what I saw, especially, when we had still 11 men on the pitch, because they had a tactic by falling back. At least that's how I viewed it. But they didn't press hard on their own half. And it was amazing to see how much space and time the Bodø players had to just flick the ball on or try to find a solution. If you play like this, like compact, and you want to get a counter or stuff, you have to press like a team and be very, very energetic with it, especially in your own half. And they didn't do it. It was just fall back and that's enough. But that's just wrong, So it was very difficult to watch that. And it was very surprising to actually see us score a goal, because it was totally against the way the match was going, So usually, like last decades, if we play these kind of matches in these kind of tournaments, like way back, we usually lose against a team like we did play today, And you can see the loss of football. In the end, just a fluke goal, because I highly doubted that it was intentional, that shot of Taylor. But it just went in, So I'm very happy with the result, but this isn't the way we like to see our club play, But in the end, the results matter. But when we got that red card, I was like, how are we going to, survive so many more minutes? Because those first 10 minutes of that second half, it looked like it went for 90 minutes, So, yeah, just crazy match.
Yeah. Damien, you're an Ajax fan, of course, as well. The reason why we're Ajax fans, we like attractive football, attacking football, these kind of things. Are you okay with, just going through no matter what happened today, or do you still have some criticism after today's performance?
I'm shell-shocked. I don't know what to think. I normally have an opinion. I haven't really got one. Keeper was fantastic. I think every player played good and bad. I think there was some moments. Look, we should be playing like them. We should be pressing. We've got I struggled to see what the tactics were in the game, because I think we were just hanging on for a bit. I think it was but what I did see was more commitment and more energy, especially when we went down to 10 men. I think we've played better there with 10 men in terms of closing people down and going for the ball. That tempo, if we had that tempo, we should play with 10 men all season, because I think it was better. You see, we missed Brobby when Brobby came off. He really holds the ball up really well. He gets battered by defenders. It's really unfair. He's just such a quality player. I was really worried. I reflect what Ajax said when they went down to 10 men. I was thinking, how the hell is this going to happen? For me, it wasn't a red card. I mean, if you clatter a player like that, it goes down. You run the risk of it. But he was already falling over his feet anyway. But smart play. If an Ajax player would have done it, then I'd be quite happy as well. But yeah, it's ugly football. But you know what? There's a possibility. I keep on thinking that this season there's going to be a turning point. We're gonna have that kind of American movie moment when we realize, hey guys, we're not that shit. We're going to move on. We're going to push on. I haven't seen that, but if we could win this tournament or get to the final or get some momentum, it might actually rescue our season. Because you do look at the games before, and I can't really. Van Schip's done something, but I can't put my finger on exactly what it is. Because sometimes you think he's made it a bit clearer. Sometimes you think they're a bit more they're a little bit more disciplined. Then they lose their discipline. It's really difficult. My emotions up and down, a bit like the Ajax's form and the way they can play. Let's just take a result. Let's take some luck, because we haven't had a lot of that this season. We've not had a lot of luck for 2 seasons, to be honest. I'll take it. Let's go through the next round and let's smile.
Thanks for that, Damien. Ravish, let me go with you. Let me ask you a question. And of course, you can also say what you think of the game, just like Damien and Ajax said. How good is Romain? How good is he already? I mean, are we talking about a potential or maybe already one of the best goalkeepers in Europe?
I thought he was the poorest player on pitch. No, just joking. It was just like in Amsterdam. He played an amazing game, especially also with the last free kick in the dying seconds of extra time with the free kick. I thought at first it goes directly on it hit the bar, but he made an amazing save, put it on to the bar. So yeah, we should thank him so much for the saves he did today. He really kept us in the game, even though he made one mistake with the chance in the first half of extra time, where the dude missed for open goal. He was a little late, but if you compare that with all the saves he made today, yeah, he was amazing. He was my man of the match, and I think he showed that already the whole season since he took over from Horten, I believe. He made some incredible saves, and yeah, definitely my man of the match today.
It's strange though, because this season we've been talking about good stuff and bad stuff, and usually first we really were praising Hato, then we were praising Brobbey. Of course, we always said Romain is good, Romain is this, Romain that. But I mean, not only today, if you look at this season, he's been very, very good. Unfortunately, he didn't have a very good balanced team in front of him. And that's why he never really, because a goalkeeper only stands out when he has a clean sheet or these kind of things. And that's not happening either. So, yeah, go ahead.
To answer also your other question about the game,
yeah.
it felt like it was Ajax playing for the first time ever football. It was people didn't know what to do with the ball. They were so slow with every ball that they played to each other. Bodø didn't have to do that much to put pressure on those guys. Every ball that was played, every ball that we had, we lost in seconds. Even though after the 1-0, we didn't have the power or the accuracy to get better in the match.
Yeah.
Bodø did what they always did. They waited, but every time when they had a ball, something happened during the game. And every time that we had a ball, it was counting how long we would keep the ball before losing it. You saw it also in the second half with Sosa. A couple of times he had the ball, and then suddenly give a ball to who? Everybody said, take some time, take your rest, go back. No, he kicked the ball at front. I saw Guy also coming in, and he made a sprint and he loses the ball. It felt like amateurism, and that we won today, I still don't know how. And like what Ajax said, I think if Taylor would say after the match, I saw the keeper in front of the goal, then you should definitely give him a headshot or something, because it was a lucky one. But hey, nobody will talk again about this match. We won, and we are going to Nyon tomorrow, and that's important.
Absolutely. Chava, let me go with you. Last time you were here on the channel was a long time ago. So you've been following, of course, how we were doing this season. Let me ask you a question. How do you think from last week to this game, do you think Van het Schip approached it the right way? Because he pretty much changed us to be much more conservative defensively, keeping things compact, even though, like Ravish said, it didn't always work out because some players looked a little bit lost. But do you think like maybe not that extreme, but this is a little bit of a formula going forward? Also, like Damien said, maybe this is a turning point. Like we played against PSV, also a bit conservative. Maybe that's the way moving forward towards the end of the season?
Yeah. Hi, Juan. And let me first answer the first question. I don't feel dirty at all. I mean, I mean, you can look at all the big data and possession, our 2 or 3 shots on target. In the end, we scored 2 goals and they won, and that's what really matters. And to me, it's also like a payback of all the luck we didn't get during Erik ten Hag's period. So to me, it's the luckiest match I've ever seen of Ajax. I agree with you. I didn't see any way we could win this match. And then going into your question about Van Schip, I guess he made really harsh comments last week on the quality of the squad, which, I mean, it's just emphasizing it because we already know that quality is not there. I agree also with Damien that Bodo played the way Ajax should have played. And to me, I mean, we didn't have any tactics at all. It was just about defending, and not even defending properly because we were not compact at the back. Players were not following the runs of the forwards. So it was just, we have to stay in our own half of the field and just try to get the ball out of it, whatever the way we could. So, and this brings me a question whether, what did or what has Van Schip brought to the team, to answer Damien. And I would say that Van Schip gave some confidence back to the players that during the first games of the season, we saw a lot of players that we already know are good, like Berghuis, like Bergwijn, that they actually were lacking confidence. So the first thing that to bring the team back to where it should be is to bring that confidence back to the players. And then the second one, that it's where I don't know if Van Schip will be able to bring the squad to that point, is, okay, now let's talk about tactics and how we can make connections between players. But maybe it's just because there's not the quality. We don't have enough depth in the squad to actually do that. And we can, and we had Bergwijn injured until probably April, and I don't see Forbes stepping into that left wing position. We also had the Berghuis missing last match, and I don't see anyone stepping into that position. So it's also, and of course, our left backs and right backs, which is also some problems we've had throughout the entire season. I agree with Van Schip that there's not enough quality and depth in the squad, and then probably like after the first leg of the last week, probably it was the right way to approach the game. Just make sure we don't receive more goals. But I'm okay with the result. We won. We were very lucky, but I don't feel comfortable with the way we played.
All right. Go ahead, Ravish. Yes.
What you said, Java, that Van Schip had some criticism on the quality of the squad. He's totally right. But then you should look in a way to get the qualities of the players you have right now to make it come out better. We all see, sorry, that 4-3-3 is not the system for this team. Yeah. And like he said, after NAC, we saw in the arena that even against NAC, that we should have lost that game because NAC was better than Ajax in the arena for years. Then why not go for a 5-3-2 where you know that you have two wing back players like a Guy and a Sosa. You could have an extra defender in the center, and then you had some more stability than you have right now. Because even though he played in a 4-3-3 today, real compact, you still had Bodo saw the spaces to give the ball, and they were more dangerous than we were in the whole match. I think we shot 3 times on goal and scored two goals, so kind of effective. But if you're complaining about the quality of your squad, then search a way to make the players that are not good enough for the 4-3-3, make them comfortable in a different system that they're used to. We know it's not the system that Ajax would like to play, but for now you should win every match, and it doesn't matter how. But play is something that players would say, "Hey, coach, this is the way I can play right now." And next season we will see with new players, a new trainer. We'll see what happened. But tonight it was poor again in a 4-3-3, and still Van Schip says, "If I play in a different system, I would get criticism." Ten Hag played his last couple of matches before we championed 4-4-2. Not that Ajax, but he won. And yes, sometimes, zoals je zegt, als de nood hoog is, Juan, I don't know how to say it.
You want me to translate?
When the need is high. When the need is high.
Yeah, when the need is high, then search for something else.
But can I touch upon this briefly, because
and then Damien as well. Yeah, go ahead.
I disagree a bit with what Rafish is saying, because I think there's something fundamentally wrong with the way we're playing at the moment. Doesn't matter if it's 4-3-3 or another system. The pressing and the way you have to press and to position yourself and be as a unit, as a team, work together, it has nothing to do with quality. It has to do something with effort. And the reason that this team, Bodø, isn't that great of a team also, if you're being honest, it looked like it, but it wasn't that high of quality, if I'm being honest. Both shit. But if you're being honest, what the problem is the way we press them, the way we try to get the ball back. Every time with their backs and with their side play, they overlap us. And why? Because we do not press as a unit. And if you press with 2 or 3 people and then the other players don't press at all, then you get gaps in the field and they can take advantage of it. So this has something to do with quality. Quality is like the technique that you have, the level of the plays. This has to do with intensity, with the way you play during a match. And this is something that you have to bring every game. And that bothers me a lot, because Van Schip is already here for a bit now, and they do not press as a unit still. They are not a team. And that has nothing to do with individual quality. That has to do with how you carry out the tactics that are necessary, especially with the formation that you play today and the tactics that you play today. That's why Bodø looked like a team that had it all together and was very great, but it was because of our lack of pressing.
But it was the same against NSA, Ajax. Against NSA, we had the same. It's against NSA, against Heerenveen. Every team that normally we would win from, we had the same problem.
That's what I'm saying. It doesn't matter if you change the system, if the fundamentals aren't carried out correctly. It doesn't matter. 4-3-3 can be solid still with this team, with these players. But fundamentally, they are not carrying out the way they should carry out, for example, the pressing and work together as a team. And also, what bothers me a lot, the whole season, why are we losing so much second balls? So if there's a duel and the ball falls in the midfield, why is it almost always the opposite player getting the ball and can continue to play? That has to do with intensity, the way you position yourself and coach other players around in the team. Yeah, it's one-on-one. It's just basic football things, not quality.
True. But then those players aren't intelligent enough to understand what is needed from an Ajax player, and that's quality. It's everything. You can write everything down, but during the match, you should do it. And if you don't have players who can't see it, then you can yell and you can do everything, but then it's lack of quality.
Yeah, but if the front 3 players press and your midfielders don't press also, so move forward, then you get gaps. What does it have to do with quality? It's just not carrying out the tactics that's necessary.
Yeah, but then they don't recognize those moments, and that's something, that's intelligence.
That baffles me after so many games.
Yeah.
Let me go to Damien quickly, Ravish, because we still look. I just want to say before I go to Damien, everybody that's in the comments, I will go through the comments as well. If you have any questions for each of the panels or any of the panels, let us know. If you have a comment as well that you want us to show up, let us know as well. Damien, you can react. Go ahead.
Okay, so some of the things that were said there, I actually think it's hard to see what Van Schip has given tactically, but I do think there's players who've really improved individually under Van Schip. One of them is Hato. I really think he's really improved. Even the mistake that he made today, the mistake that he made where I can't remember what happened, but he was heading back to the line to cover the goal. So he's starting to find his position. And I think him and Sutulo are starting to form a partnership. Van der Boom is definitely an improvement. He's been injured. You can see it, but he's got better and better, in my opinion. And I think Akpom and Brobbey, Akpom played really well tonight. He really tried. His movement is fantastic for a big guy. So is Brobbey. So I think the spine of it is right, but it's just there's not enough there for quality. I mean, our squad is just not good enough. And I don't think any manager is going to get any more out of them. But there's one point that I want to make, and I've been making it all season, and I made it on the last time I was on here, and you all disagreed, and I still say it. We are not fit. Teams run around us. So there's a kind of I was thinking about the coming on here tonight. One of the things I've seen all season is that everybody knows now, if you come at Ajax, they'll crumble. They'll crumble because they're not fit. They're blowing out. I think they're getting fitter, but it's really hard to build fitness during the season. That's something you do pre-season. With the injuries that are happening now, I think it's going to get harder and harder. But Bodø just looked fitter than we did. They moved around. I totally agree with you about the second ball. I think some of the players, the first touch is terrible. Berghaus has lost his first touch. I think he's horrendous. Brobbey's the only player up front with a really good first touch. Forbes looks really good, but his first touch is horrible. Forget about the second touch. I just think Forbes' inability to control the ball is there. And I agree with you about the second ball in the midfield, but I think if you get Henderson and Van der Boom in the midfield together and get them playing, they've only played 3 or 4 games together. I think it'll be much stronger. But there's one thing I want to say is, I think if I was Van Schip and I really wanted to manage for Ajax and not manage for himself, his own image, I would just play all the young players from now on. I would play as many young players as I can. I'd give Reich off as much minutes as he can and just write everybody off. And then Brobbey's injury, let's say I hope it's not too big, but I think what he should be doing is, if they don't plan to move forward with Akpom in the season, find a way to put Reich off into the team and all the others, Manswerk as well, because we're going to write off this season anyway. I don't think we're going to get relegated. It's not possible, but you never know this season. Probably could. Now, but I think he's got to give these young players as much of a chance as he can whilst getting into the Europa League or the Conference League or whatever we're going to do. My opinion is that he should there probably is a list, and they've written a lot of these players off. None of these players. Yesterday, I watched Arsenal, Cancelo. He looked fantastic yesterday. I think there's just a situation where some players just do not fit Ajax and do not fit the system. We've got to persevere with 4-3-3, but I am tempted, Ravish, to go. I love a 4-4-2. I think it's fantastic, but we've got to play a 4-3-3, and we've got to accept that people are going to come at us, and we need to train that in. But NAC, everybody, they all came at us. Why could PSV come at us and we withstand it, but we don't have the mentality against other people? I don't really understand it. But I do. I think Van der Schip is making changes. I think it's getting better, but I don't think it's going to be much better this season.
With PSV, it's funny you mentioned that, actually, because that draw that we had against them, if you look at that game, and I believe I actually said it in our chat, Juan, back then, it's the first time I saw Ajax this season that they were actually bringing the intensity and the mentality that is necessary to bring to the football pitch. And you saw with the lack of quality that we have compared to PSV this season, it's obvious. With that mentality they brought, we could get a draw. And actually, we were unlucky because we could get a win also that match. Yeah. So if this is what I'm seeing with the current match and with other matches in the Eredivisie, you have 2 things. You have quality. Those are traits that you have as a footballer that make you unique and that makes you better than another player. And you have mentality. And those things have to do with mentality, with work rate. And yes, condition can be trained. That is a vital part of that also. But this is what they are not bringing as a unit. And you can play as much as you want, but if you do not act as a unit there and carry out the tactics as necessary, then you're always on the back foot instead of being proactive and can control the game. That's the problem. And we did it against PSV, and we haven't done it since.
Yeah, and how could that happen? Because after PSV, we were all kind of enthusiastic. Henderson played a key role in that match. He was coaching. He was putting players on the right spot. And a week later, it was against Heerenveen, I believe. We lost everything. So what does that say? That we can only do it in the big matches? Because against Heerenveen, nothing changed. It was almost it was the same team.
If I was the coach, I would go back to the basics, and those are the basics. You have to train. You have to create those cohesions between the player.
We don't have the time now to train. We don't have the time now to train because
we train during the week. You can train being trying to carry out certain tactics, certain set pieces and stuff. or you have to train the intensity and just bring at least that to the game and carry on from that.
True, but you have every 3 days a game, so they are recovering, have maybe one training, and then the next match again. So Van Schip used the period before and during the winter break transfer window. He had a full, I think, 3 weeks to train. Then you saw that people were saying, "Hey, this is kind of different," but still, it doesn't click. Maybe when we play again against a bigger opponent, if we draw them tomorrow, then we will play a great match. But for the Eredivisie, it's like a motivation.
Trust me, changing your tactics mid-season, going for another formation, I think it's even worse. So it's not a solution for me.
Let
me, guys, quickly, just let me give Chava also an opportunity to react to this discussion, and then I will go to the comments. There are still a lot of talking points I also want to bring up. So we have to be, Ravish, I'm looking at you. We have to be a bit efficient today, okay? We're not going to spend 2-3 hours talking here. All right? No, I'm just joking. Chava, what's your opinion on what Ajax is saying, Damien is saying, and Ravish is saying?
Yeah, what worries me is that I agree that, okay, against PSV, you brought the intensity because it was a big game, and then probably you could justify that, okay, Herenveen, Neck, it's not like the big match you are expecting for, but then this is a European match, and yes, we can argue that it's a Conference League and that it's not that important, but it's also the opportunity of many players that are going into the first squad to actually show themselves, and not even in this match we show that intensity. And then what also worries me is that I'm not sure if Van Schip has what it takes to bring this, not only the intensity back, but the tactics into the team, because and going back to the quality and the depth we have in the team, for example, Sutalu annoys me very much because he is the player with the least intensity, I guess, of the entire squad. And probably we could also, it was a surprise to me that when he received the red card and then Forbes came out, I would have expected probably Kaplan to go into the defense.
Me too.
But then he brought back Wrench to the central defense, and it's probably, okay, I'm too afraid to experiment now, so I'm going back to what worked me when Sutalu was injured, and that's bringing Wrench back to the central defense. So and this brings me a question. So if going into next season, because to me, if we were to win the Conference League, it would be like a consolation prize. But after these 2 legs, it's like a very, very optimistic idea.
Trust me, if we win the Conference League with the team that it is now and the way things are going, it's like winning the Champions League, because I don't see it happening.
Imagine.
Agree with that. And but if you looked at after the PSV game, if I told you, okay, we may win the Conference League, like, we're pretty much optimistic about it. But then after the last 4 games we've faced against Bodø, Herenveen, and Neck, it's a very optimistic dream. But I mean, going forward, not only for the rest of this season, but also into next season, I'm not sure if Van Schip is the right person that could bring us to the next level. Apart from, of course, going into new players of that. The squad needs new quality, but in terms of tactics and connections in the pitch.
Do you guys, let me reverse the question. Quick answer. Also looking at Ravish, quick answer. Do you guys think Van Schip would want to do it? Because I don't think after the season, with everything that's happening, with everything that he's facing, that he would think, I'm going to do it another season as well. Because I also think I don't think from this season to next season, we're going to see a jump like all of a sudden we're back to the Ajax of 2 years ago. There is like, we have to elevate that level. Yeah, exactly. So do you guys think Van Schip would want to, I mean, apart from what we want, but do you think Van Schip would want it? Would be open to it?
He's an interim. So it's actually in his contract, get Ajax to the end of the season. And from that on, you get a role in the club. So it can be the manager. It can be the manager position, but they didn't state it like that. So it's highly, probably you can guess that he will be going at the end of the season. He has a lot going on in his life. I have nothing but respect for the guy, what he's been done for the club in the situation that he's in. but probably he's our guy until the end of the season, and we have to rebuild from there. That's my opinion.
Yeah, Ravish, go ahead.
What Ajax says. Respect for the guy, and more than that.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Anyone wants to say something before I go to the comments quickly? Nothing. All right. Let me go with. If you guys want to react, let me know as well. Steven is asking, does anyone know why Hendo is out? Why he didn't play today? They don't reveal. I'm sorry?
He was injured, Van Schip said.
Yeah, but we don't know what kind of injury it was, right? So, but he wasn't fit enough to play. That's correct. Let me go. So people are, praising Kenneth, of course. Kenneth the Savior, Lord Taylor. Here we go. And also Murder Inc. saying, listen, it was a nice goal, not gonna lie. A roller coaster game, pretty much. I mean, this is like obvious. Ramai man of the match. Let me see, what else do we have? Yeah, I mean, honestly, usually we're good at this, talking about the game, but even Damien, who always has an opinion about everything, was struggling to talk about this game. So, but we won, exactly.
Yeah.
Only for the week is saying, if any of you spin this into something positive, I won't be able to take you serious again. Puntje is saying, so now we know what a dirty victory tastes like. We're happy, yes, but honestly, guys, don't we feel embarrassed? The whole world saw this disgrace. What do you guys think of that? Do you feel embarrassed about the way we won today?
No. Everybody knows where we are. We've been bottom of the league. I work in Eindhoven, and I know abuse. I've had abuse this season. So, we've been low this season, low. We're back up to where, we're back up somewhere near the top. And you take these victories. And I think Bodø, a decent side. I don't think that they're really crap. I think we're guilty of underestimating them, how they are. They're not a bad team. I watched some of their stuff earlier on YouTube. People only ever post really positive stuff, but they weren't a bad team.
No, they're not. I agree.
I think we forgot that we also lost from Hercules. That was embarrassing.
Yeah.
Not this one.
I mean, they're not a bad team, but I feel, I wouldn't say embarrassed is the right word. I feel angry because we were actually playing like we were the small team in a playoff round in the Conference League. So to me, that's not acceptable, whatever level you have in the squad right now.
Yeah, that's interesting. Look, if you look at the players, if you compare players, even though, Van Schip is saying, and we're saying, Damien is saying as well, this team is not Ajax quality and all these kind of things, still individually we have better players than Bodø. But it didn't seem over the two legs, actually, also in Amsterdam and also now here, it didn't look that way. They look much more organized. And also, don't forget, these two games were their official games of the season. The season is starting for them as well. So, look, again, not going to be too negative. We're through, but we are quite, we know how bad it was. So, but we still won. Let me go to Christian. He's saying the only thing we need to do after this game is thank Ramai on our bare knees for keeping us alive so many times.
And the crossbar.
Yeah,
we have here 3 little birds somehow became 3 little crossbars. Yeah. He is saying the whole season is a write-off. I'll take any win at this point, to be honest.
I feel the same.
Yeah, exactly.
For me, the same. You don't have to play beautiful football anymore. Just win and try to aim for the highest place at the ranking, and it doesn't matter how you do it.
This is the first season in 15 years of being a season ticket holder where I've really not looking forward to going to the games. It's a good job. I like the 15 guys that I go with and drink some beer. But with the beer prices and the parking prices going up and the state of the football, it's been a drag. It's been a drag.
DMAC is saying, if we keep playing like this, we'll be in the last place again. I don't think that will happen. But yeah, let me see. Punch is saying Taylor did well with heart and soul in a crazy match like this. He was the perfect guy to score. Yeah, a bit of a Cinderella story, even though I do agree with Ajax as well. I don't think that was intentional. I thought it was like more of a cross, but we'll take it anytime.
But probably I saw. I mean, we all agree that the intensity was not there in the game, but at least I saw Taylor coming on the pitch with a bit more intensity than the rest of the players. And after the whistling he got in the past 2 games, probably that's the way he reacted. He's reacting to that. It's probably a positive. And yeah, I agree. I think he tried to center the ball to the forwards, but he got lucky.
The Taylor story reminds me a little bit of how Van der Beek left. There was a whistling Van der Beek. I know it was different level, but the fans around me at the time weren't that keen on Van der Beek. They were unhappy with him. He would come on, he would do something up and down. Let's hope we can sell him to Man United 50 million. That's all I'm saying.
You mean in the beginning of his when he came to Ajax? You mean when he went to the first team? You mean?
No, more like he
was really appreciated after a while. So
Van der Beek. Yeah, but there was that time when he went up and down, and he tried to do a little bit too much. And I think that's exactly the same thing that Taylor tries to do. He's a good somewhere inside Taylor. There's a really good player. Maybe he's a super sub. Maybe that's his new thing.
But just like Glimt, right? Glimt also had that period that people were cheering when he got substituted, and suddenly he found his form and he was the best player we ever had. But just like Taylor and Van der Beek.
Yeah, you know, the thing I struggle with the whole season is even with Stijn and now again with Van het Schip, also with the press conference. My general notion usually of a team is if there's 1 player, 2 players, 3 players, maybe max, not playing well in the team, it's on the players. But if a lot of players in the team are not really having a good season, in my opinion, that has to do more with maybe the system or the tactics, or then I look more at the coach. That's how I see it most of the time. So I have a hard time saying all the players are not good enough. You know, there are a couple of players that are good.
I touched upon it like a few weeks ago, I think. It has to do with that we do not have identity left in the squad the way the players left last 1.5 season. And the other players that are being brought up in the position that they have to carry the team but aren't natural leaders. So if you lose a lot of players like a Blind, like a Tadic, also Alvarez and Kudus, because they've been there for seasons and they developed the trade and they got to know the club. If all those players leave, you bring in a foreign legion, and then you have a certain players left like a Bergwijn and a Berghuis and a Taylor that have to carry the team as a veteran, and they do not have that trait, that it isn't their biggest quality. It crumbles down. You have to have certain players that can carry the team and also learn the other players what is necessary to be an Ajax player and to carry out what is needed. And all of those things combined together happened. So we do not have those persons. You know. Then you get a captain like Bergwijn, and yes, he has some qualities, but he isn't a natural leader. Going from Tadic to Bergwijn is like worlds apart. That is the problem, in my opinion. And if you do not have a certain culture instilled in the team and 12 new players come in and nobody carries them and shows them what is needed within the squad, maybe do extra training and stuff, it isn't happening during the season because the mentality is gone.
True. We're looking now at Hato as a 3rd or 4th captain, and we're looking at him to lead the defense.
And actually, Hato has been one of the biggest leaders in this squad this season with his 17 years old. But maybe not... I do not know how vocal he is, but at least by the way he's acting in the pitch, the way he's playing, he's a leader by example.
Yeah,
he's improved massively. Every game he seems to get better and better. Even he's bounced back from his mistakes. I really rate Hato. Really rate him.
Yeah.
But then the solution to what Ajax is mentioning is it's not about probably not even the coach. It's about how you bring back that culture to the squad. And is it like how? Like bringing more experienced players like Henderson type, or I don't see like a solution there.
I think bringing in Henderson at least helps a lot. and maybe not even only on the pitch, but at least he can instill a certain level of professionalism into those young players and other players that came to the club. So having a guy like him at the club, maybe with the same work rate and professionalism as a Tadic had, can show certain players within the club what is necessary to be at the professional level. Yeah. And that is necessary because a lot of players with that identity, Daley Blind, Dusan Tadic, even Klaassen, who is the child of the club, maybe not being that first 11 player anymore and being of that quality, but most definitely a focal person within the club and knowing what the club is about. All those players left.
Every single one of those players who left, if they came back and stepped back instantly, they would improve what we have.
Yeah.
Every single one of them. Blind would be an improvement on Satulo, and I don't think Satulo is really a really bad player. I just don't think he fits our system. I don't think he fits Ajax. Klaassen would pull the team together. Tadic would lift us. We just lost so many leaders and icons of Ajax and time icons of Ajax at one time.
Imagine having Timber still this season. Imagine having him fit with a Hato. That would be a great center.
Yeah.
I don't think Wrench has been that. I thought Wrench played well when he went into the center, to be honest with you. I really thought he played better than he is on the right.
Do you guys think we should start considering, taking into account if Hoyer is back, or maybe you guys prefer also Guy to play on the right? I don't know. But do you guys think we should at this point, maybe towards the end, consider maybe benching and resting Sutalo and putting Wrench and Hato?
To touch upon that, Juan, and I mentioned that in our chat. Yeah. I think it was a blessing in disguise today that Sutalo got a red and then their best player got a red. Because one of our worst players was sent off and we survived those 10 minutes, and their best player, in my opinion, at least that one of their top players, was sent off. Mm-hmm. So it is a great trade-off to make, because I do not know with Sutalo how he's been this season if we would have lasted with him in the center. With all those pressure, with all those crosses, with all things happening. So in the end, it wasn't a bad trade-off, getting rid of that player of Bodø and getting rid of Sutalo. But that's just my opinion.
Yeah, but looking ahead now with what you're saying about Sutalo, let me give it to Ravish. Ravish, what's your opinion on Sutalo right now?
I think I still see potential in him. I have a kind of Christian Kifu deja vu. When Kifu started at Ajax, he was also with 3 red cards and a lot of strange things he did. But eventually he became one of our leaders and he became one of the top defender. He's a Croatian international, so I think he knows how to play football. But it's new club, new country, different way of playing football in a team that doesn't march out real well. So it's also difficult for him to find his place. But I still have confidence that he might be, together with Hato, our next central duo.
Was there any game this season for you, Ravish or Java or anyone, that Sutalo made an impression on you?
I saw a couple of games that I think he played quite well. But if you see that the result isn't good, then people will definitely go look out who was playing a good game, who was playing a bad game. And also in the media, everybody is writing him off. But that's always with players who are new and who are paid maximum price for. But give those guys some time, and I still believe that next season we might see why Sutalo has player of Ajax.
I thought he played really well. He played with PSV, right?
Yeah, he played well.
Behind. Yeah, I thought he played well. If that's what I remember, I did drink a lot of that game, but that was pretty towards the end. But I think if I remember, with Henderson operating that space, they were moving around Henderson. He was picking up. I think he played really well. If I wasn't hallucinating from the alcohol.
I was also in the stadium, and he played real well. He played real well.
Also, yeah. Right. And I think that's sometimes the difference. If you're in the stadium and you see the play, you look at it and you see the movement off the ball a little bit. You're not seeing certain camera angles. I look at Satulo and I don't think he's the problem. But our defense is crap, so it makes me wonder what's going on.
Even
I
Sosa
think
played well against PSV.
I think he's one of our biggest problems in the defense, to be honest. And I haven't seen him shine all season. And the problem with Sutalo also is also a bit of our the staff of the club. You know, they brought him in, and they already said when they brought him in for that amount of money, he's a great player. He can be of pivotal or for our team. You know, he can be a leader. That's the way they introduced him. You know, and they paid a lot of money for him. Then I expect a certain standard, and this isn't it. And there's so many shit things that happened with him during the season. Even Bessie, who got burned a lot last season, wasn't as bad as what Sutalo has shown this season. So let's be honest.
No.
Let's be honest about that also.
No,
For me, the solution for the near future, hopefully, is Kaplan with Hato. Kaplan is making his minutes now. Hopefully, he can get some minutes in the squad, because I want to see how he is doing. I expect also a certain leadership quality as a central defender. Sutalo doesn't show anything. It also always looks like he's like this, you know, when he's playing. Even with getting a red card and stuff, he's not making a big thing of it. You have to have certain poise and a certain mentality to be in that position. You have to fight. I cannot see the fire with him. It's always like...
And he's slow. And he's really slow. That's in my opinion, he's very, very slow. Someone in the comments just said Medic. Medic reminds me, he's like an Eastern European Magellan. He makes me want to cry when I see him play. No.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not that far with the comments yet. I still have to cover a lot. But Ravish, you want to react quickly on Ajax, I believe, and maybe Chavi, you want to react as well about Sutalo?
Yeah, but if when they presented him, and what did you expect? That we bought a poor player for 23 million? Of course, you need to talk about a player that for that kind of money you should give.
I don't know if you noticed, wasn't he our captain in one of his first matches because other people were injured?
Yeah, I know that, but
there's something different with saying standing behind your player, getting them in, because you have to back all your players getting them in. But they already said, like, he's such a good player, he will be of immediate strengthening to the squad. I haven't seen it. He's been poor since the beginning. He's had a little bit of rise in the beginning in the first matches on the front schip, and he's back at his old form again.
But you're now talking about Kaplan, like he is our
No, I'm just saying, I'm hoping that Kaplan can be the solution for the near future, because I've seen the little minutes that I saw of him also before he got injured. He looks like a guy that knows how to defend. He's tall, he's strong. There's something that we need in our defense besides Hato. I can see a possible future for him if he stays fit. I want to see some minutes of him, then judge him.
I also want to see some minutes of him, but the way people are now talking about Kaplan, like he's our coming leader, that's also a bit.
Who does say that?
A lot of people in the media said that the people who saw Kaplan playing at young Ajax, he played real well. He was a matador over there, but still. Young Ajax and Keukenkampioen and in the Eredivisie a big difference, and that's why I'm still for this season. I think it's all poor, but I believe that Sutalo will become next year in a better team, one of our better players. That's
okay. But Ravish, I understand that you said it now twice, and I understand. But now we have 11 games, I think, left in the Eredivisie. We're to the next round of the Conference League. We have a very short time span to get the most result out of this couple of games that we have. Would you continue with Sutalo in the center? That's my question, basically.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Chava, what's your opinion? Wait, hold on. Chava is now allowed to talk.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Chava.
I wouldn't continue with Sutalo, and I partially agree with Ajax in the sense that, given the expectation we had of Sutalo, yes, he hasn't delivered anything, but I don't agree that it's one of our main problems right now. But I think that said, I still think he has potential. I just think he needs to be shaken off, and probably that shaking off means bringing Wrench to the center of the defense, and then I'm loving Goyer on the right back, so that will also give the opportunity to Goyer. And then probably going into the last 10, 11 games of the season, I would start bringing Kaplan into from time to time just to see how he develops. I haven't honestly seen Kaplan that much. That's why I don't have that much confidence, but I'm liking Wrench more than Sutalo.
Is it 11 games or 12 games? I'm a bit confused now, but anyways, something like that in the league.
12.
All right, thanks, Chava. Damien, quickly, because I have to go.
I've just done some research, so I've looked at my iPad. So Satulo, before he came to Ajax, he played 60 games. He's 23.
Yeah.
So, and what's called Hato has played, according to has played 30 games at 17. So there are different stages of their development. He was at Dynamo Zagreb. He's at Ajax. So you look at it, he looks like a guy who's only played a couple of games a season. And before Dynamo, he was actually on loan somewhere else. So he wasn't one of their first team players.
You know what's funny, Demo? The funny thing is with Sudalo, yes, you may play in a different league and in a different team who plays different tactics, but the build-up play isn't suitable for everyone. Maybe you have to grow in that area, but then at least you should expect that somebody can defend, because that's the bare minimum that is necessary as a central defender. If I was the opponent's team or the manager, it would be so easy. And a lot of, if you closely watch some matches, we have problems in that area. Sutalo, just leave him free when we are building up. Cover the backs, leave the line open to the goalkeeper to give a long ball. Leave him to build up. The only thing he does is flick the ball back, flick the ball sidewards to Hato or somebody else, or tries a progressive pass and he loses the ball. So yes, he is one of our main problems in the defense, because this guy cannot build up. And if he doesn't have the bare minimum quality to defend what is necessary, but besides the build-up play, what do you have left?
I think that's basically also when Ajax said earlier about I think Sutalo should be changed because of that. I would agree, but the thing is that Kaplan, for instance, we barely saw him at first team yet. He only played now at Young Ajax, which he has done tremendously, to be very honest with you. But at this stage, do you put Kaplan in? That's also a risk, basically.
But Van het Schip already had the chance to bring him, because Kaplan is sitting on so many matches on the bench. Then why didn't Van het Schip play that card out? He already had that chance.
I'm very curious about it also. I actually said that to Watch Juan during the match. Why doesn't he bring Kaplan? Why does he bring Guy and move Rens to the center? Doesn't make sense for me, especially with those crosses that they play during the game. Time after time after time. Kaplan is a large guy. It could have been very sensible to bring him. I don't understand why he didn't get minutes. Really don't.
But it's the same like with Fitz Jim. Nobody understood why he came back. Since he came back, he's sitting on the bench. So,
I feel sorry for him, because now Van der Boom is back, Monsterk is back. I don't think he will play a lot, to be honest. All right, let me go to the comments, guys, quickly. Javid is saying, better talk about Rens, 3 years in Ajax. No development. I think he's doing well this year, to be honest. It's been one of his best seasons.
And he's been injured a long time. Don't forget, in those 3 years, he's been injured for a long time.
And Rens has been injured for a long time?
Yeah, remember that documentary with, I believe, Gravenberg and Timber?
Yeah,
he was trying to get fit that whole season.
Yeah, all right. Red is saying, well, looks like we all owe Taylor a beer. 100%. He can ask for it. We'll give it to him right away. Papimento is saying, terrible football and still win. Indrek is saying, Van het Schip, the Mourinho of the Netherlands. Pudge saying, can we all agree that Knudsen instructed some Norwegian cramp drama last week? No cramps whatsoever for 129 minutes, including extra time. I thought they will get tired at the end.
But they did substitute a lot. They had like half of a new squad towards the end.
That's true. They didn't become better. I mean, they didn't become worse. The new players brought a positive impulse for Bodø. You couldn't
I start to believe, from Jules, it might be a mental thing with Taylor and Rens and some others. Bashing players and even booing players in your own stadium is whack. That's true. That is true. Björn is saying, time to give Knudsen a nice deal. That's an interesting one. And Dinos is reacting right away. Knudsen can even win from Ajax, or better said, this Ajax. Guys, there has been a lot of talk about Knudsen before we faced them, his team, as a potential manager and stuff. Do you have an opinion of him? Did you have an opinion of him before we faced him, and do you have an opinion of him now that we faced his team? Ravish, you're anxiously waiting to say something about it, so go ahead.
I heard of the guy before. I saw him playing with Bodø. He had a good plan. He showed some great attacks with his team, but I can't give a good opinion about the guy. I don't know him that well.
Java, what's your opinion?
I remember he was one of the candidates back when the board decided to bring Steng. I haven't followed him that much, but after these 2 legs, to me it was clear that we were outplayed, not because of the level or quality of the players, but because of the tactics of the team. So to me, it was like, given the level of Bodø, I think they actually played good. So positive for him.
Damien?
I just don't know what it is that makes us think that he can do something with Ajax. I don't know how old he is. I'm just Googling him now. He's 1968, so he's not really young. He just looks young because he's Scandinavian. I don't know really if he's got, compared to me. But but I'm not convinced that he's got something in particular. He's not. It's not like he's really achieved anything. I just looked at his.
Wait, hold on. You cannot say that he didn't achieve anything with Bodø. That's crazy. I mean, domestically, he's by far the best team in Norway.
Okay,
But hold on, he brought them up to be the best. It wasn't like when he stepped in, they were already the best team. That's one. And second of all, they destroyed Mourinho's Roma 6-1. I mean, who does that, basically?
Yeah,
they won. They eliminated AZ. I mean, we're talking about a club that has a budget. What's their budget, basically? You can compare it with what? Maybe one of the middle teams in the Eredivisie or something? Something like that.
I just don't rate the Norwegian league.
And also, we have to be fair as well. I mean, we're happy that we're through, but look at those two games we played. Honestly, I'm not supposed to say that because my heart lies with Ajax, but Ajax was outclassed in both games.
Yeah, but we're crap.
Yeah, all right.
I mean, you go from. For me, he's not the Ajax manager.
All right.
He's not the Ajax manager. He's not what we want. He's not and it needs to be a Dutch coach.
It needs to be a Dutch coach.
100%. No more foreigners. I'm sick of them. No more foreigners in the boardroom. No, it needs to be a Dutch coach. And maybe we build it up and then we go for someone else.
Hey, but Demo, I agree with you with Dutch people maybe in the board, but what was the last foreign manager then? Because we've had Dutch after each other, right?
Morten also was the last one.
Yeah, but that was in 1999, I believe.
97.
Yeah, late 90s.
I just think we need someone like Pascal Janssen. Come in, bring up the level.
Hold on. So also people now, also after last week, Utrecht has broken a record historically of not losing a game for 12 games in a row in the league. So people are also mentioning Ron Jans now. So you would favor Ron Jans or Pascal Janssen above Knudsen?
I just think Knudsen is a big risk. I see this kind of whole thing going on. This, I'm a Sunderland fan. You see the kind of foreign managers turning up in the Championship. They're not bad, but I think Ajax is in such a state at the moment. I don't know if bringing in somebody who doesn't speak Dutch and doesn't really understand the culture, whether that's something that Ajax want. Yeah. I think it might be just a bit more. It all depends. I don't know the guy and I don't know much about him. I only see what I've seen on his Wikipedia page. But also, we're getting the guy from AZ, right? What's he called?
Alex Cruz.
We're getting Cruz in. Cruz works well with Janssen. Janssen wouldn't be a bad shout, for a couple of seasons to get us stable. His problem at AZ was not his problem. I would say he would be a good. I don't like Ron Jansen. That's the only problem. I don't like him as a person. I just don't think he's an Ajax style manager.
I don't like them both, to be honest, Jans and Jans, because I think Jansen is not that experienced yet. I think Jans is, but I do not think he's the manager for us. Of those three, I'd rather see Knudsen, that has proven a lot more. Give him a try than those two. But the biggest mistake that we made last season is not getting Bos, because that was the logical. Not that he's doing well now with PSV. We've been saying that before that also many times. He should have been our next manager. And now you have to hope that a manager of that stature is available for us maybe after this season. But of those three, I'd rather have Knudsen than those other two. Because I think he's much better. Sorry?
I hope they already know who's going to be the manager now.
No, don't hope on that. No, don't put your hope on that. No.
Ajax should already know who the manager is going to be next season, or it's out of two of them. But if they don't know already, then they've got no plan.
We'll see. Going to the comments back quickly. John is saying no disgrace in winning. AP is saying this was so bad today. Thank God for Ramai. He saved us. Without him, we would lose 10-2 at least. AP is also saying he deserves a statue. And then everybody's saying basically the same about this. Ramai saved us so many times by Tony O. Not a fair win, but I'm happy mostly because of coefficient for the Eredivisie. Yeah, that's also important, of course. Spans is saying painful to watch, but a win is a win, I guess. Yafit is saying Ramai is good, but let me remind you all that it was a third choice at the start. He lost to Horter and even 40 years old Witcher. And that's again about Dutchmen's being preferred over other nations. All right.
You mean Schot? Means how they call it? Pasveer.
Yeah. Oh man. All right. How they come up with these things. Anyways, Dan Holmes saying Damon Ajax. I'm looking forward to this one. Oh, all right. I hope you're still here.
You're still at those part of the comments, man.
Yeah, man. You know how much
forever, man.
All right. Charles is saying shameful. Is that the right translation? Shameful. Yeah. Let me see. Yeah, most of the things that people are saying we already discussed. So I'm trying to find something new, maybe. Hold on. Yeah, it's so.
I'm being insulted.
You're being insulted. Hold on, we'll get this.
People think I'm trolling with Jansen. I just think that we really, really need stability, and that's my.
But to dive into that topic a little bit more, I know. Why do you think that Jansen can bring us that stability? What did he do besides coaching Asset for a while that makes you think he can give that stability to our club in this situation?
I think if you look at what he did at AZ and look at they were very difficult to play against. They were very good. He made a lot with the players that he had, and I think the next step up. And I think he deserves a step. I think what happened at AZ for him was really unlucky. I think there was what happened with the Polish team had a big effect on the atmosphere there in the club. And I still think he's quite a good manager.
Look, the only thing I would argue against Jansen is we've discussed this a couple of weeks ago with Luc, I think, and I think Papimento was there, etc. I think the type of coach that has to be in front of these guys is a type of coach that is a little bit dominant and also pushes the players more. Not being, I mean, of course, you have to be a people manager to some degree, you know, but not like Van het Schip. Van het Schip is a nice guy, and you know, we need a coach. You know, if you look at all the successful coaches at Ajax, they all have a little bit of dominance and being.
Look at Van Gaal.
Look at Van Gaal. Look at Ten Hag. Even Frank de Boer.
Even Frank de Boer.
Peter Bos. all these kind of coaches,
You remember, not that I want Frank de Boer back, but do you remember Frank de Boer scolding those players when they were on the sideline with the cameras on and they were like 2-0 up or something? Did you ever see like... Yeah, probably. Did you ever see Van Schip doing that? And I'm not saying maybe he's not in the situation to do that, but you need a personality that is able to bring that to the group.
Exactly. Especially because we have very young players most of the times. They need that structure. They need that discipline. We need those type of coaches. That's my opinion, of course. So yeah. Lawrence is saying Ramai is incredibly good. He was very good. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, I'm going to skip a little bit more because we're like so much behind. Hold on. By the way, did you guys realize that Henderson, since he came into the squad, we didn't win? Now he wasn't in the squad today and we did win.
It's the Hendo effect, man.
Blaming him, but I'm just saying, it's
the Hendo effect.
I'm sorry? The Hendo effect.
The Hendo effect.
All right. What else do we have? Brandon is saying ball movement was awful, build-up was awful. Tactically, we looked scared and never switched the ball and found lanes on the opposite side. After the spring, coaching needs to change. Defense is a joke. Yeah. Look, guys, we're happy that we're true, but make no mistake, we know what we saw. So we're not saying it's good. Anthony also very critical. Van Schip doesn't have any clue what he's doing. And that Greek next to him, Falcanis, Maduro, Bakati. Yeah.
You know also what the problem is, Juan?
Yeah.
Not only the pressing that we touched upon, but also we do not have like any players, almost no players that can make a progressive pass. It's Ranko van der Bomen can do that. Luckily, he's back. Sometimes Hato does it, like rarely, but sometimes. But we get so predictable if you do not make any progressive or a little bit harder passes, because you only flick the ball sideways or backwards. That's a big problem with this team, man. At least with Blind in the past, he could also make those passes, and we had some other players that could do it. But the back six, they do not do it. It's a problem.
Yeah. Chava, let me give this one to you. Keith, Anointed saying, question, was it lucky Ajax or was it bad luck Bodo?
I would say lucky Ajax.
Okay.
Isn't that the same?
Yeah. Is it though? Is it the same? I don't know if it's the same.
If Ajax is lucky, then Bodo is unlucky.
I guess lucky because also the 3 or 4 plays we actually had in the game, 2 of them ended up in a goal. So that's also lucky from your part. That's why I would like frame it towards Ajax, not only because Bodo missed like 10 clear chances of goal.
All right. Going back to the discussion that we had about the pressing play, it's also 50% staff. The players all have to know when to press and who steps up, who covers. If it was just up to the players themselves, there wouldn't be a team who play high press. This is the second part. All right. Then we have a comment. Hello, I just wanted to say that even if we paid 8 million for Ramai, which we didn't, it would have been a bargain. What a goalie.
If you look at the stats from the game, it's quite interesting. We had 3 shots on target and 5 shots off target to their 9 and 11. We had 38% possession and they're 62. So I think
that's
it tells a story. Okay, we're away. Yeah.
Alex saying, guys, Ten Hag future is still uncertain for the summer due to the new CEO and director of football. I think he will go back to you. I doubt it.
I doubt it too, but I would happily see him back.
Of course, everybody would. Bodo fan here, Ian is saying corruption. UEFA only wants the big teams to win. Honestly, yeah, I'm thinking about why you're saying that. There were 2 moments, right? 2 moments of how do you call that? You guys could have just go.
Let's be honest. The thing he's referring to is probably that handball of Sosa, but it was a foul on the keeper. So you always with the rules you go back to something that's happened earlier.
Was it a foul on the goalkeeper?
I think so because he's in his 5 yards, 5 meter box. So if he's being obstructed there, it's the first foul. It may be a light one, but he couldn't reach far enough because he got blocked. So
Okay.
yeah, I think it's
So
a
it's a
sensible
clear
decision.
one. It's a clear one for you. Also for you, Ravish?
Yeah.
Yes? Mike is asking Damo, where are you from?
Hoofddorp.
Hoofddorp.
Yeah,
And originally,
His accent? Can't you hear his accent?
of course,
Typical
I'm
Hoofddorp
from the
accent.
village. You know.
All right. Let me see. Wow, I'm going through the comments quickly. Yeah, Danny's basically saying what you said earlier as well, Damien. We have to go back to our youth academy and in the level of what it used to be. Basically, that's what he's saying.
If you look at it, right?
And
How
yeah,
many
and
was
also one
played?
other thing. Yeah, one other thing though. This is to you, Ravish. Nickname is saying, no man, you can't compare Sutalo with Kivu. Kivu had way more confidence, even as a 19-year-old.
he was just unlucky with his fouls, but he had the effort, he had the power, he was a leader, but he had just made stupid fouls. He got like 3 red cards in the beginning, so he missed a lot of matches. But he was a quality player already, also in that period, but just a little bit unlucky and a little bit too firm in his, going to the duels.
Yeah, I still think he will be, but that's what I think, that Sutalo might be a great player for us. Of course, it's first season, and he's in a team with 12 new players, with two coaches. So I understand. I understand everybody's opinion, because I also see all the matches. I also see the dumb mistakes he makes, but give the guy a leg. I think he will come back.
All right.
I hope you're right, man. I hope you're right.
Yeah, we'll remember this, what you're saying tonight. Robert's saying, love you guys from Los Angeles. Big up to you, man.
Yep.
Music Hip Hop is saying, I need better scouts. Yeah, we do. I think we should also go back. I was thinking about that before we played today, these last few days. I really miss, it was actually triggered by Edson saying goodbye. And I was thinking, we really miss Tagliafico, Martinez, Edson, these type of players,
The Grinta.
Yeah, the Grinta, exactly.
Imagine having Kudus for this season still on that even on that right side.
Yeah, but then it would.
He carried us in the beginning, man. When before he left those matches, it was only him.
Yeah. Jerry's saying, since Rensch became a father, he's playing strong. That's a good observation, actually. Steve is saying the Bodø players are all average. The Knudsen style high press and combination play is what sets them apart. It reminds me of another team I used to know. Who would that be? All right. Pat is saying, what's your opinion on the formation change? We don't have any wingers, so yes, I love the Ajax play, but we need to win those upcoming games. Yeah, we basically a little bit touch upon it. Chava, the next game is AZ, for instance. We have some players that went out, like Broby, and we don't know if Henderson will make it in the weekend, these kind of things. We still have to see how it goes. But in terms of the way we have to go forward, do we have to play a little bit similar to what we saw today or against PSV, a little bit more, going a bit deeper, being a bit more conservative, and just try to not playing counterattack, but try to be a bit more not giving spaces away like we used to do by pressing up very high? How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I think we should definitely try to play compact. I guess that's something the coach is actually looking forward to, but somehow he's not managing to do that. But I guess I would love to see in the coming games an attacking Ajax. I think, quality is not there. We can argue on that, but I still think that we should win the matches going forward. And I wouldn't change the formation because, as Ajax mentioned, it's not about changing the formation. It's about making some connections and some tactics within that formation. And even though we don't have the quality we used to, or we would love to have at an Ajax level, I think that we still have better players than AZ, for example. So I think that we should stick to the formation. And probably the only change I would make is bring Sutalo to the bench and then bringing to the pitch Wrench as a central defender, Goyer on the right back. I know if Goyer is going to be able to play because
what if Hoyer is not available? What would you do? Would you still play Wrench in the center?
then I would probably give the chance to Kaplan to a central defender and then play Wrench on the right back, because apart from Wrench and Goyer, I don't think we don't have anybody else on the right. I don't really like Guy.
He's not your guy.
No.
Guy is not your guy.
Guys, sorry, I'll have to drop because I have to take some calls still from work.
Oh, you're still working? Yeah, of course. Go ahead, man. No problem. We'll continue.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah, of course.
Bye, man. Bye-bye.
Your big challenge is going to be, at the end of the season, we have to move some players on, who has value and who doesn't. And I think they've also got the European Championships coming up, right? So Satulo and other players will be playing in that tournament. They'll probably get called up, depending on how good our run-in is. If you look at the last transfer window, especially in the British teams where we seem to sell a lot of our players for big money, it was dead. The financial fair players really kicked the wind out of it. So if we think we're going to get enough money to reinvest, we have to sell the players first. I don't know if they're worth anything like we've paid them. I mean, we would expect Brobbey to be 40, 50, 60 million if he's going to go to the Premier League. I just can't see clubs going to pay that money because they're so worried about financial fair play. It's going to have a big effect on who we can move on and bring in next season. And that's why I think we have to really look at the youth players and start giving them a chance.
All right. Clear. Let me go to the comments quickly as well.
One quick question. Yeah? Isn't Brobbey suspended for Sunday after his yellow card against NEC? I thought it was his fifth one.
Isn't it now white?
Maybe. No, I don't think it was waived. Maybe somebody can check it for us. Somebody.
No, I thought there's a certain point when they build up and then they spent again. All of them. They start again.
No, because I remembered that there were a lot of players that were needed to be careful before PSV, and Brobbey was one of them. And after PSV, he got his yellow card against NEC. So I think he was already suspended for coming Sunday against AZ.
I'm not. Yeah, I don't know about that. Honestly, I didn't pick up on that. So, but maybe somebody can check it for us. Coming back to Steve's comment, he's saying, guys, when will you acknowledge the lack of forward press as a choice of the coach? This is part of his tactics. I don't fully understand this comment, Steve, because today it was clearly, and also PSV was clearly, but sometimes in other games, like NEC, for instance, or Heerenveen, there were moments that the players were pressing forward, but it didn't work. It's not working. So I don't know if that's it. I'm sorry?
Because we do not do it as a team. That's the problem.
Exactly. But what he's saying, okay, let me pull it up again. What he's saying here is that we're not doing it the way
it's very simple. If it's not the tactics of the coach, then we should not be pressing half the way we should be pressing. Then we do not do it that way. But we are trying to do it that way, but we do not do it as a unit. Exactly. So I do think the instructions are there from the coach, but the players are not carrying it out correctly. Because if it wasn't the choice of the coach, we should see less pressing the way we see it.
Yeah,
half is doing it and half isn't doing it.
Ravish, a lot of people in the comments, I'm seeing a couple of people saying it, so I would just generally ask you this question. People are saying maybe we should go for Xavi from Barcelona. Well, you're laughing. I'm serious. I'm asking you this question because he's leaving in the summer, right? We know he's leaving. So.
Yeah, but I don't think Xavi will be the coach for us from now.
Okay, but hypothetically, let's say he would be interested. Would you go for him? Would he be a candidate for you?
He's familiar with the Barca way of playing, and that has a lot of Johan Cruyff in it. And Johan Cruyff his ghost is still at the arena at the Toekomst. So if you look at his quality as a coach, to be honest, he didn't impress me at Barcelona. Although he had a lot of great players to work with, but yeah, why not? Yeah, I really don't know. I don't think it. I'm not sure if it will be the right fit.
Yeah, Damien, I'm not going to ask you the question. We know you want a Dutch coach, so it's all good. And then Danny's asking, can we make an episode sell, keep, or rent out or loan out Juan? I think we did that in the summer last year, but Yadorenko was the star of the show because
he rented for 30 minutes. But to answer your question, Danny, we cannot sell and we cannot loan out Juan because he's the host. So that's a short episode.
I think he meant the players of Ajax.
Okay.
Probably, maybe we'll do it towards the end of the season. We'll have a look. It's easier also to reflect back and stuff like that. Steve is also reacting to the press talk that we just had. A forward press should be a team press. That is what I mean. Without man-to-man marking, the forward press falls apart. I agree on that. I totally agree. And then he's also adding to Ajax also lets the opponent cross the halfway line before they apply any real press. True.
That's also the problem with us. We're almost always at our back foot, moving behind, no proactivity, and that's why it looks like other teams are more fit or agile going past us. But that's because we're not pressing, we're not being proactive. Then you're on your back foot all the time, and they can have the initiative. That's not what we're used to of the way Ajax is playing historically. That is the problem. If we start acting as a unit and carrying out those fundamental tactics that are tied to the Ajax philosophy, we should see more dominance from our side. But it isn't happening.
Yeah. Juan, where's Yadorenko? Why don't you call him? Yadorenko will be, I think, next week. If everything goes well, he'll be on the stream. So you can ask him all the questions you want. Look, I have a question for you guys. Again, it comes back to what I asked you guys earlier. If you're from the Schip, right, and you just witnessed this miracle that we all witnessed, what's your takeaway as a technical staff, as a coach? Going to the next game, going to the other games. What are the things that you can say, okay, these are good things that we saw today, and we can develop that further, to make sure that we win most of our games, our next games. So let me give it to you, Damien.
Wrench, central defense.
Mm-hmm.
Hoyer back. I would probably. I wouldn't change too much. I think you see it. We're getting progressively better. I don't think we're getting worse. Don't think you need wholesale changes and Taylor off the bench. If Taylor becomes like the yard star coming off the bench, then why not? But again, I'll make my point. I think the yardstick for us was the PSV performance. We have to stick to that and play like that. And on the other hand, I also think, like I said, you've got to bring the youth through. You've got to use this to give them a chance.
All right. Ravish.
Van der Bomen played okay. Range central was good. Like Demo said, at the moment I wouldn't change that much because you don't have anything better. The only thing which you should try to do is maybe, but that's my thing. Maybe change the system for more comfort, for more that the players are more comfortable in how they need to play. That would be a change, and thank God that you continued in the Conference League. That would be my take for the trainer.
All right, but even after tonight, you still want, preferably, if it's up to you, you would like to have a 5-3-2, 3-5-2 formation change.
I think that's for this team right now. I think that would fit better.
Okay.
That.
All right, Ajax.
I think it's a great game that you can take away a lot from. You can see how Bodø, for example, utilizes their backs and their side play. This is something that we are lacking in this team. You have a lot of footage how not to press. I would try to keep playing your formation, but instill the certain technique that is necessary. And this is mentality. Drill it during the weeks. I know you do not have a lot of training days, but drill it. Go back to the fundamentals that are necessary. press as a team. Try to play a progressive pass, not only backwards and sideways. You get so predictable. Learn how to utilize your sides. You know, same with when Bergwijn is playing and Berghuis is playing, we almost always cut inside. You need to have some, assists and some crosses towards Bobby to be utilized, not only being used for hold-up play. It's just football 1-on-1. The fundamental things need to be carried out better. And this is something that's also it's the, how do you call it? The staff needs to do this. It's the responsibility of the staff to carry that out and to keep hammering on those things to improve. And if that's not happening now at this point of the season, that is something bad, man. It's simple things. I want to see the players fight for second balls. If you're not winning second balls after the duel, you cannot be dominant within the match. You cannot win the match often because you do not have the upper hand. These are just the simple things. They need to train on those things and just carry out with this formation. Because if you're now lacking those things and you have to change formation while you're at it, it's even worse. So that's not happening for me. That's what I would do if I was the coach. Keep training on those things and carry it out. And punish players also by showing them footage. This is not what I'm asking for you. You see what you're doing wrong. Yeah. It's simple.
Well, if it was simple,
not simple as it will change everything overnight, but it's the simple things that you need to carry out right first. Yeah. If you're not doing that, then you can try to play specific tactics and stuff. But if you do not do the fundamentals right, it's just crumbling down.
Yeah. Quickly, Damien, do you know who we can draw tomorrow? I think the draw is tomorrow.
I don't know. I haven't had a...
Anyone knows?
We could draw. I believe we could draw Tadic.
Yeah.
It's one of those teams amongst the group of teams, I think.
All right.
We can draw Lille. We can draw Maccabi Tel Aviv, Victoria Pilsen, Club Brugge, Aston Villa, Fiorentina, PAOK Thessaloniki, Fenerbahce.
Yeah, let's do
PAOK.
PAOK.
I think we should avoid Aston Villa.
I think we should avoid most of those. give us PAOK. That's maybe the best chance.
Yeah, especially Aston Villa, we should avoid. I think
Tel Aviv away is going to be a good one. That would be sure.
Yeah, that would be interesting as well. Let's see. Ajax, Steve is saying, good to have you back. John W is saying, positive result going forward. We won away in artificial grass after being tied up. Yeah, agreed. And Nickname is saying, Pilsen would be a great away day. All right, guys.
And a positive to take away is Ramai is very good for us. It has been for a few matches already. So
you know, one of the things I did like also, I mean, I know that players are they know what kind of game it was, just like we saw it. They do feel like it wasn't a very good game they played, but I also feel it's still a morale boost for them that they went through, and they they stand their ground and they defended well, etc., etc. And the thing that I like is that it wasn't only a select few players, but also Van het Schip had to play a lot of other players like Akpom, Guy, etc. All these players, they were all part of it, of what happened tonight.
And I must give kudos to Branko van der Bomen. Kudos. 120 minutes he played.
True.
And I hope that he doesn't have a setback from it, because he is pivotal for us. But because you can see he's one of the only ones that can give a progressive pass. It's necessary. So, but it's for me, it's baffling that he was able to play 120 minutes, because in the press conference, Van Schip said it wouldn't be possible probably. So 120 minutes, great performance by him.
Yeah, he rather plays Van der Bomen 120 minutes than give Fitzjim 5 minutes. Probably. So, all right. Last comment. Millennial saying, Juan, we will see against AZ if players learn something or not. Yeah,
it will be a difficult game.
The only thing I would say to that is AZ had the whole week to train and rest. That's the only difference. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Damien, it was a pleasure having you.
Thank you very much.
You as well.
Thank you.
You don't seem happy, man. What's going on? We're through, man.
No, I'm listening.
It's because of you, Juan. You told him to shut his mouth more in the first 30 minutes.
No, I didn't.
He's doing what you're telling him, man.
No, but the thing is,
he read between the lines, man. It's your fault.
Sorry, Ravish. I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry.
He speaks in sense, the man. He does.
Yeah, but listen. Ravish is one of the short stars of our channel. You guys know that. Every time, every home game, he sends us a short. He's been to the stadium, and he always has a quick reaction. So, people know what he thinks.
I just want to end with the words, Ravish. I hope you're right about Sutalo, man. Then I will be happy. I do not have to be right. I hope you're right.
No, I hope they will play more with the pressure that you want, and then we'll see what will happen. But they won't learn against Asset.
No, I don't think so either.
Because if Satulo becomes a world beater, Ravish is going to be unbearable. He's going to be horrible, You're never going to do anything.
No. But it's an opinion. I think we are too quickly nowadays in killing people, killing players. In nowadays also with social media, of course, people cannot fit at a club. That's normal. But still, in a season like this, where everything goes wrong, like also today with everyone, it's not only Sutalo, but it's also a Sosa, it's also an Akpom. Everybody has their periods that it doesn't go well. But I still believe we should give some players some time and some credit, because they all can play football. But
it's a very hard season to improve.
But Ajax is also a real difficult club to play for, because we have a kind of system that's worldwide famous, and not everybody could fit in that. And that's why
the standards are high as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
At least they used to be.
At least they used to be.
At least.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
Thank you all. See you guys on Sunday when we play AZ. Take care. Bye.
Yes. Bye-bye.
Bye.